I've been thinking a lot about the things you were saying today.
So this is an emergency?
Maybe it is.
Come on.
Hello everybody, I'm Summer's child and our Chanford are going through a really rough patch lately, especially after the breakup.
Hey, Lucy.
Tim finally realized he needs to get some therapy, or so you'd think, but I say he has been getting some therapy for more than 2 years now, even if he didn't realize it.
Trust me, I'm a psych major. I know this stuff.
Lucy is the cutest, toughest, cleverest psych major who crossed paths with Tim while on the job. A perfect environment for Tim to listen and learn despite all his efforts not to.
You need to listen while you're being active in order to absorb things.
Lucy spent her childhood talking about her feelings, opening up and learning coping mechanisms. So she really knows what she's talking about.
My parents are both therapists, so I spent my childhood talking about my feelings.
Didn't your folks put you in therapy at the same age?
They were trying to teach me coping skills.
Whereas Tim spent his childhood being closed off, repressed and dominated by his abusive father, in a headspace where sharing your feelings is seen as a weakness.
Dad slammed my head against the wall.
You were 7 years old. He dropped you in Griffith Park with a compass and made you find your way home.
Dad was a monster.
He prefers surface-level relationships to deep intimacy. It's a defense mechanism that can develop when a person's raised by an overly strict or domineering parent. My guess is father.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
And he refused to go to therapy for many, many years, despite all what he went through.
Now, therapy's really helped me come to terms with everything that happened to us when we were kids. It could help you too.
I'm good.
Just so we're clear, I'm not a fan of this, or therapy in general, so don't expect me to overshare.
Like I said, surface level.
What is this, some intro to psych closure BS?
It's not BS.
I hate being happy.
Trying to tough it out and be a man never worked for him, for it was the wish of his abusive dad to do so, acquitting the bad parent by pretending it was all no big deal and done for the sake of the child.
Poor little Tim. What are you bitching about? You kept your mouth shut. You did good. Now get over it.
Two things, okay? Shut up.
Tim never bought that pathetic, abusive excuse, and it left him in so much pain.
I taught you what you needed to know, son. You're a man now because of me.
No, I am who I am, in spite of you.
Right from the get-go, when Lucy met Tim, she realized after learning about his addict wife, he's an intriguing psychological case and an important part of her training, being her TO and all. So naturally, she made him stop spiraling so he won't hurt himself or anyone else.
You're not helping her. You're enabling her.
You know this because you're some shrink's kid?
Addiction doesn't just destroy the addict, it destroys the family.
Who the hell are you to tell me this? You think I don't know?
You're out of your depth on this. If you came all the way over here to psychoanalyze me, you wasted your time.
No.
She could have knocked on him to get rid of her hard-ass handsome TO and make life easier for herself. But that's not our girl. Lucy is clever and able. She admired Tim and didn't want to let him go if she could help him.
Hey, you know what? If I were you, I'd ask for another TO.
Yeah, well, you're not me, man.
When Tim was suffering in silence, punishing himself for everything that went wrong between him and Isabel, his friends were his only support system despite him refusing their help.
Appreciate the thought, but I'd rather be alone.
Too bad.
I'm not going to talk about it.
You don't have to. But we're gonna be here if you change your mind.
They went along with some of his questionable coping mechanisms in an attempt to ease some of his pain, while Lucy felt it was healthier to cut the cord with Isabel and move on, since rescuing her seemed like a hopeless case at the time.
This competition is clearly an emotional thing for him.
It's personal. When he was a rookie.
Is it Isabel? Yeah, and they love the roundup. Do you really think holding on to this is what he needs?
I'm the expert here.
He denied himself every pleasure, refusing to get a divorce and date someone new, focusing on saving Isabel, to the point where he forgot how to get back in the game, and his insightful boot had to approach him in a way that'll intrigue him to try and do so, by tempting him to triumph over her with a bet.
You want to set me up? There is no way you'd be able to pick someone right for me.
I bet I can.
And if you lose,
You're gonna do 50 push-ups after every call we take.
Why do I care if Tim dates?
You just want everyone to be happy. That's a good quality.
No.
He tried to sabotage his date by telling Rachel he's only with her at the restaurant to beat Chen. Who does that on a first date? Lucky for Tim, she did not walk out on him.
I let Lucy set us up tonight because she made me a bet. I want me to win.
Being here with me isn't a win?
Well, that's romantic.
I'm not trying to be romantic.
Well, you're succeeding.
Maybe a little.
Lucy was right there for him, breaking his depressed, lonely routine when he tried to pretend it was all discipline and studying for his upcoming sergeant exam.
What'd you do last night?
Gym, dinner, study,
Rinse, wash, repeat. What do you do to unwind?
workout. And don't tell me if it has work in the title. It can't be relaxing.
It's true.
Of course, he met her kindness and care with rejection and a little condescension, which she could laugh off, expecting as much.
Shut it, Boot.
Yes, sir.
Fun is not allowed in Bradford's head, for fun is a reward only people who don't feel guilt deserve to have. Lucy knew that and tried to get him to forgive himself and live a little.
You're having fun, aren't you?
No.
No, I've got it all figured out.
Even when Tim told Lucy he was ready to off himself and go out on his own terms, she knew he was trying to control the situation rather than actually being suicidal. She tried to protect him, continuing her attempts at healing him, unknowingly triggering his worst fear that she'll be just like him, lying to protect the people she cares about.
When the time comes, I'm going out on my own terms. It should have been reported immediately.
I was trying to protect you. They would have put you on leave, required therapy. You weren't even actually
He tried to pay back her favor reluctantly, trying to keep his distance and going back to his old tough, harsh self as soon as possible.
You're driving today, Boot.
Why?
Look, if you don't want to,
No, I do. I don't need any special treatment from you, okay?
then I'm driving.
They ask you how you are, you just have to
Tim was so hard on Lucy, pretending it was all for her sake, controlling at times even her personal life, but then backing down when he felt he crossed the line.
This is my info. Give me a call.
As my training officer, you're saying that I should go get a drink?
Maybe even with another human.
And what a time to make that mistake. Again, filled with guilt and shame, Tim was mad at himself, willing to do anything to fix things up and save Lucy.
She went out with Caleb because I told her to. She hesitated, and I pushed her right at him. I am responsible for a life that is in jeopardy, and I will do whatever I have to save her.
Then he felt he's dangerously close to her, developing attachments he tries to avoid with all his power, and he complains about it all right to her face.
You know me so well.
Too well.
Despite the dire situation Lucy was in, she tried using her psychological skills to get herself out of it.
Why the tattoo? Is it some display of ownership?
It's the gift of something we rarely get, clarity.
Did Rosalind teach you that?
No, that's mine.
I just thought Rosalind is your mentor.
We're equals.
Does she know that?
After all that, Tim was responsible of making sure she'll get back on her feet, or at least setting aside his control so Lucy can get the best help available.
I've been training rookies a lot longer than you. I know what she needs.
I'm just asking you to consider whether she might be better served by someone who has been through what she has been through.
Okay.
He couldn't let her go or walk away after that. He was her TO for God's sake, and he was terribly guilty, thinking he'll get her to safety and run for the hills before any deeper attachment could form between them.
Why would you even care what I think? I pushed you towards Caleb and you almost died.
What happened wasn't your fault.
Look, I wouldn't ask your advice if I didn't value your opinion.
You're the man.
Nope.
Run.
He took care of her. Doesn't mean he didn't enjoy it, but he felt obligated as an honorable person to be there for her healing, as she was always that for him.
Let the hunk of junk go and focus on the end of your training.
It's the only place.
The only place what?
Where I felt safe after Caleb.
There's a chop shop on Melrose. We'll start there.
He's just a big softie.
Do I look like a big softie?
Yes!
He sometimes showed responsibility and care as something that resembles controlling behavior. For example, he would try to shake Lucy's confidence so she would back out of an undercover mission just because he views that line of work as dangerous and destructive.
You can't pit an untrained probationary officer against one of the most dangerous crime syndicates in California. But they know the gladiator cage you're walking into. You don't. That's not volunteering. It's being used.
Hey, don't let Bradford kill your confidence, okay?
But then she showed him she can take care of herself and then some by fooling the master of tests himself.
I have feelings for you. And I didn't want to say anything before because I didn't want to put you in a weird position. I think the reason why you're so protective of me, because you have feelings for me too.
Crap. Listen. Are you kidding me?
He took that Lucy lesson like a champ and supported his boot to the very finish line, delivering the woman he grew to care for, despite all his effort not to safety.
It's weird now, isn't it?
Nope.
I was just making a point.
And you're undermining it by feeling guilty. You don't let anyone ever tell you can't do something. Not even me.
Yes, sir.
When Tim gets upset with himself, he shuts everyone out and keeps all that self-directed anger bottled up inside him, tormenting himself for falling shorter than the glory of perfection. And Lucy understands that well, so she tries to make him vocalize his feelings so he can chart a repentance plan for himself rather than a punishment one.
I'm not mad.
You look mad, at least madder than usual.
I am upset.
I knew it.
At myself. Can't undo it, but I can make sure I never do it again.
That's progress. I'm proud of you.
I'm thrilled.
Good boy! Yeah!
His shortcomings meant self-harm, pleasure denial, isolation, and being all lonely, serious, and miserable. Lucy got him to reach out, be a good friend to her, and have a laugh or two while on duty.
We're friends.
But when he felt the danger of that platonic friendship turning into a serious romantic attachment, he tried to run and hide, ducking for cover, turning the lights off and pretending no one's home.
Thanks.
Night. Yeah.
Hell, pull chin. You two work together good.
Smitty, you're up.
Seriously?
Tim avoids every intimacy like the plague, even his own little sister, hiding behind the fact that she would want him to speak to his father, which is something he would never want to do in a million years.
Didn't even know you were in town.
So you're not just not returning my calls, you're also ignoring the messages telling you I'm coming to town. He's changed. You'd know that if you visit the hospice.
Not in a million years.
It took the real therapist in Tim's life to tell him he should support his sister and take care of her business.
Your sister needs you.
Lucy?
You would be better off just supporting each other.
Only Lucy could set Tim free when he was afraid of his controlling nature being abusive, just like his father.
You're nothing like him. Come here.
Even Ashley, his girlfriend at the time, realized how close he is to his partner and how hard it is for him to open up to new people.
Life can't just be about talking about the job with your partner.
She is not my partner. Bruh. That is not the point.
When Lucy was the one to have turmoils about her real dad, Tim tried to help her by assuming the best about her mom. But she was, despite her anger, right on the money explaining her mother's motives perfectly.
Nothing I have ever done has been good enough for my mom. And this whole time, she has been a total hypocrite.
Maybe she's trying to prevent you from making the same mistake she did.
Or she resents me for reminding her of the one time in her life that she messed up.
After going on a UC mission together, he was impressed with Lucy, confused about the whole pretending to be a couple situation, and really didn't want to say goodbye to her, walking her up to her apartment and accepting her invitation to come in for a hot, steaming cup of coffee.
Do you want to come in?
I shouldn't.
He realized what a mistake they almost made, and what guilt associated with it must be weighing heavily on Lucy. So he took a decision right at that moment to be a good sergeant and set his gopher free, depriving himself of her presence besides him. so she can pursue her career and go to UC school. And so both of them can be apart, letting all their emotions that got stirred in Vegas die down.
Are you trying to get rid of me as your gopher?
No, I'm trying to look out for you. It's time for you to move on.
And some time away would be good.
Lucy did not like that decision at all, and she complained about it to Noah, the UC she trained with, trying to vent her frustration with the man who can easily let her go every time he felt he made a mistake.
Noah Foster.
Tim Bradford.
Oh, you're that Bradford.
Curious to hear what that means.
No.
Code of silence, man. Keep quiet.
Lucy almost lost Tim many times. When he was shot and another TO took his place training her, when he let her ride with Harper after her kidnapping, when naturally they had to depart ways after completing the FTO program, when Tim was afraid to make her his gopher because she's a girl and he's a very handsome boy, when Tim made her go to UC school and they stopped riding together after that. So she was understandably reluctant to start a serious relationship with him, even though she really wanted to do so, in fear of losing him for real this time.
If we do this and it doesn't work, I'll have ruined the most important relationship in my life.
They both realized how important they are in each other's lives and finally started dating.
This is the most amazing relationship I've been in since ever.
It's you.
Taking things slow and trying to sneak around, hiding the new relationship, even though Tim can't lie to save his life.
So what'd you guys get up to last night?
Nothing.
You had all morning to come up with a cover story, and that's what you went with?
Tim was so serious about Lucy, he took any available position in the department to move out of her chain of command, so she can stay at Mid-Wilshire, where she loves to work, surrounded by people who care for her.
Lucy and I started dating.
And since we're having this talk, I assume it's serious.
It is.
But that's a desk job. You'll be bored out of your mind.
What's the matter?
It should be me.
No, you love it here.
I do.
And then again, Lucy needed to push Tim to be more vocal about his feelings, stressing that he doesn't need to hide them or lie, just for the sake of the relationship or to protect Lucy's feelings.
Enjoying every minute of it.
I thought we said we would never lie to each other.
That was a lie.
You're miserable.
No.
You are a lying liar who lies.
No.
Lucy, being Tim's therapist, doesn't mean she's perfect. No, absolutely not. Far from it. She's simply trained and well-educated on the matter. Still, she makes many mistakes. Funny enough, she makes the same type of mistakes Tim makes. She hid from him the fact that she was behind him changing jobs into Metro, out of fear he would reject her plan. Then she had to apologize to him for it.
I shouldn't have done it all behind your back.
Is that an apology?
Yes. No.
What? She was there for him when he shot a bad police officer to death, trying to lighten his burden and make him feel better. And he stopped her and returned the favor right away by offering to help her study.
I want to be helpful.
No. Thank you. You need help studying?
She showed him as much understanding as she could when Isabel came to their lives again, fighting her natural jealousy with grace, giving him space to help his ex out, as she knew that meant a lot to him, and even sharing her fears with him.
I love working undercover. I'm worried that you won't.
I'll be fine.
He's just a big softie.
And sure enough, those fears were not unfounded. Tim was worried out of his mind when Lucy was out on a UC assignment, wishing she would tap out of it, then accusing her of not telling him the truth about what happens to her when she's undercover.
If you need to tap out...
No.
I know you'll bail on the operation if you don't feel it's safe, so if you're good, I'm good.
I'm good.
Good. I know for a fact that you don't tell me everything that happens to you when you're undercover.
You know for a fact that Isabel didn't.
She noticed how much of a hard time he was having during the assignment. So she calmed him down in the laundry room. Then she reminded him of the differences between her and his ex-wife and reassured him that he won't lose her the same way.
I gotta get back to the station. Gray's waiting for a status update.
Lock the door first.
Oh my God!
I can't lose you the way I lost her.
You won't. I promise.
The man is so committed to her and so afraid of losing her or that anything could happen to her that he left the unit under his command to handle business on their own so he could accompany Lucy and guard her on a dangerous mission. She knew that and tried to help him relax by making fun and being grateful.
You should be out kicking doors with Metro.
I'm good.
So clearly what you're saying is you need me protecting you.
Clearly.
I'm happy it's you at my 6.
I love your 6.
Ditto.
By this point of their relationship, they should have been solid. Lucy has been healing the man to the best of her ability for 2 years, and Tim fell head over heels for her. She's the deepest connection he allowed himself to ever have. Still, he subconsciously wished she would fail her detective exam so he wouldn't lose her, and actively saw to it by failing her at a crime scene.
Am I missing something?
Do you think you're missing something?
I think you're messing with me.
Look, there's no shame in not knowing the answer, Officer
Just
Chen.
let me think for a minute. Sergeant Bradford, please.
But he couldn't hide it from her. Lucy's so insightful and graceful. She was rightly pissed at him, but so ready to help and comfort him if needed. But when Tim shut down communication at the time, she was baffled by his unimproving behavior.
Did you undermine me today because you're scared that I'm gonna make detective?
What? No.
You have to admit that what happened with Isabel was deeply traumatic for you.
You know what? I'm tired. You've got studying to do, so let's just take the night off.
Tim, frustrated with Lucy, tried to make her see she was wrong about him. But when he was exposed as a liar in the matter of supporting her becoming a detective, he needed much time and space to figure things on his own, which Lucy was patient enough to give him, arriving at Nolan's wedding separately and standing away from her while she danced and had fun, until he came to her asking for a dance and a second chance. Favor and standing right beside his woman when she was at the hospital, terrified for the life of the bad man she shot, supporting her and promising to face the issue together if it came to that.
What if he dies?
And we'll deal with it. Let's go home.
Now don't get me wrong, he was a supportive boyfriend. He promised to figure things out with her when they thought working in Metro and as a detective would consume their time and there won't be much for them to see each other. He helped Lucy lower her stress before her detective exam and comforted her after it. He insisted on keeping her out of the loop with Ray for her own safety, even after she kicked him out for not telling her the truth. Still, it all came crumbling down on his head when he had to lie even more for the sake of both of their careers. And he felt like he failed everyone he knows. Sergeant Gray, Lopez, his army buddy, and most importantly, Lucy, whom he infected with his drama. And he decided he's deserving of a great deal of punishment.
I lied about everything. Saved my job. Protected you and Lopez.
I would have done the same thing if I was in your place.
You wouldn't have been in my place.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah, I wish it was that easy.
Are you breaking up with me?
I'm sorry. You deserve so much better.
Oh my God.
That's why I'm walking away.
Why are you doing this?
Sorry.
What Tim failed to understand at the time was how much willing Lucy is to go all the way, no matter where it would lead them, as long as they can go it together, with the goal of healing him, loving him, and being with him. Even if that meant total destruction, she was all in, and he simply let her go.
I don't know why this happened. How did he let go so easily? Shouldn't I be the one that decides what I deserve and if I even want better? Even if I wanted total self-destruction, that is for me to decide. It's my life.
Girl, why you tell me all that?
He was so afraid that he'll lose her someday. He decided to choose when it will happen by breaking up with her. He became a self-fulfilling prophecy, getting rid of all the fear he feels of losing her by actually ending the relationship and confessing he can't give her any more intimacy than he already did, and she deserves better.
I really thought that our relationship was worth more than just some cheap, cliche nonsense about how I deserve better.
You've been punishing yourself, depriving yourself of something you love that brings you joy, or more accurately, someone.
Leave me alone, you she witch.
Lucy already understands what he's going through and thinks maybe there is a chance for her to get back in his life. Despite all the pain he caused both of them when he broke up with her to deprive himself of the joy she brings him. Still, Lucy asked him for the key to any healthy relationship, an adult conversation.
You were so concerned about what I deserve. How about a real adult conversation, Tim?
I can't give you what you're looking for.
And you clearly have more to figure out than I realized. And you need somebody else besides me to help you with that, so good luck.
He realized how correct she is and sought help right after she mentioned he needed some. So he asked Dr. London, the department therapist, for a few sessions.
What would you say if I started seeing her as a patient?
It takes a lot of courage to ask for help.
And now Tim is facing a dangerous dilemma because department shrinks don't work for the officer, they work for the city. He's supposed to try sharing less to keep his job safe, but at the same time get healed somehow.
In-house shrinks are a unique breed. And legally, they don't work for you. You gotta stay vigilant. Don't overshare. Okay.
All that was hard enough to navigate, but to make matters worse, the doctor Tim asked for help was corrupt. She made his healing regress, and his trust issues flare up again. Her betrayal cost him a lot, and he went to the only person whom he really trusts to vent a little about his misfortune.
Now all those confessions are living up in the cloud, waiting for some FBI IT guy to come unencrypt them so they can be analyzed for evidentiary value.
I love you and all, Tim, but you could have confided in me, for I've been lending you free therapy for years.
And he couldn't help but to make fun of Lucy in the process.
Did you tell her anything revealing about me?
I believe the term I used was freak in the sheets.
You're the worst.
Tim needs to reevaluate everything about who he is and who he wants to be moving forward and who he wants to share his new self with. Now, obviously, that would be Lucy, but he needs to realize that on his own. After the breakup, Lucy suffered a great deal of pain, which Tim was, in a way, responsible for, even though he never meant to hurt her. Still, she showed him a great deal of kindness, which I go into it in details in a video of mine titled Lucy's Kindness Towards Tim is Immense. And that same kindness kept the bond between them from breaking. Lucy didn't let go. She won't ever do so. And that convinced him to promise to be a part of her life forever, serving her and trying to repay her because she deserves it all and more.
You will never know how much I appreciate the kindness you've shown me, and I will spend the rest of my life trying to pay it back in whatever small doses you allow.
Come season 7, Tim and Lucy will be working together. As her sergeant, he can't date her, so it'll take a while for him to go back to Metro. Then muster the courage to go back to Lucy and ask if he's not late to have that adult conversation she asked for right after the breakup. And even though Lucy was hurt by Tim, she'll say yes, because she really cares for the man. She cared for him for years, and she's not about to stop now.
You are a kind and insightful person. You see the good in people.
And it'll be my pleasure to be treated by you. If you'll have me, that is.
She'll share with him all the pain she felt after the breakup, and it'll fall on him to respect how she feels and apologize for it, admitting it was a mistake. But most importantly, use his word as her man to confess all the pain he felt and really articulate why he had done all of it and why he thinks this time will be different. Instead of dealing with her like a soldier, either ending communication about important stuff or hearing her orders with no argument, even though it's causing him pain.
There's nothing to talk about. Explain to me what there is to talk about that isn't just a retread of what I just efficiently covered.
There are real issues here that we need to talk about.
Which we will deal with if they come up then.
If you are not here to tell me the truth, I need you to leave.
Understood.
It's all my fault.
When they started dating the first time, Lucy asked Tim to take it slow. She advised not to jump into bed together just because they know each other well. And at the time, it made sense.
You're not going to see me naked for a while. I mean, I don't want to rush into that.
Agreed.
But then she spoke to Tamara about how amazing their relationship is so far and decided to take things to the next level.
We're not sleeping together.
And you're waiting why again?
Tonight is the night.
Really?
Yes, really.
Oh my.
Soon after, they were sharing Lucy's bedroom and basically moved in together. So I suspect that when Tim pleads with Lucy to take him back, give him another chance, Lucy's condition to that would be, let's take it slow for real this time, for your sake and mine, so something like the first breakup won't happen again.
I want to take things slow. Go on this date, maybe a second date, have our first
after breakup
real kiss.
Whatever my queen wants.
Lucy's the perfect therapist, girlfriend, wife, cop Tim will ever have. And it's about time he realized that and went back to work things out with her. I'm Summer's child and I'm gonna see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.
We'll figure it out.
We're gonna get through this. I love you.
I love you.